once again from the 704, ladies and gentlemen, for episode 88 of the 815 exchange. And well, it's a special episode, not just because this is probably the most loaded episode we've had in quite some time, but it's the 88th episode. It's the 88th episode, so that has to be a special. It has to be a good episode. If I don't perform on this episode, I will be thoroughly disappointed. But there's no need to worry. There's no need to worry. This is one of those, as I always say in the intro for some of these mega episodes, sit back, relax, whether you've got me on your phone, your television, your iPad, whatever it is, your laptop, whatever the device is, the medium. Feel free to go get yourself some food, go get yourself some drink, whatever it is. Sit back and relax, because we got plenty, and I mean plenty to talk about. And as always, if you guys are enjoying the FOTY exchange and you're enjoying Ocho Reacts, and you're enjoying all of the content I make on this channel, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, because it's much appreciated. And, you know, it makes my day. On the way to 700 subscribers, so much appreciated. It's been a good year so far. I'd say welcome to April, even though I'm pretty sure it was April last week. But welcome to April, all right? Welcome to April. You know, the first week of April always kind of feels like March because the NCAA tournament, and we'll talk about that because that went down on Monday when I dropped episode 87. So we'll talk about that in the second half, the back half of today's episode. But we got some pressing matters to talk about in the UFC, right? And some combat sports stuff. So we're gonna start off. We're gonna start off with combat sports as we usually do when we have a major event. So right, UFC 273, live from Jacksonville, Florida. And with all due respect to the state of Florida and all due respect to the city of Jacksonville, I'm not sure if they should ever get another UFC, a major UFC event, respectfully, because that crowd was atrocious. But with that said, we still had a solid card, and especially those last three fights, I would say certainly lived up to the hype. Starting off, main event, Alexander Volkanovski taking on the Korean Zombie. And well, this one went the way that unfortunately we expected, alright? Like I posted on, by the way, I know I didn't say this in the intro, but you should know by now, right? Social media links are in the description. Everything else you need. If you're looking for a timestamp, this is long form content. Timestamps are in the description as always. You know the drill. It's 88 episodes in. I've been doing it for 88 episodes. You know what it is. And for those that are new, now you know. But like I was saying, Volk versus the Korean Zombie. Well, it was always going to be Volk. It was always going to be Volk. I said it, you know, on TikTok. I say it again. All right, he's one of the, if not the pound-for-pound king, currently one of the best mixed martial artists on the planet. No debate. Top 3. And he might not be 3 or 2. He could be 1. So TKZ, I feel, not that he didn't earn it, but he was the number 4 contender for a reason, right? This really was, like Alex said, he was doing TKZ, a legend in the sport, doing him a solid, right? A pioneer for, you know, Korean mixed martial arts, a superstar there. He was doing him a favor. He was doing him a favor by giving him his title shot. He beat Ortega, you know, no reason to do the trilogy with Max. TKZ was next up, and he got dispatched. He wanted to finish, he got the finish. They really could have stopped it earlier, but I will say Herb did a great job refereeing that fight, officiating that. Called it at the right time. You know, he called it at the right time before it got too out of hand. It was definitive. It was the right choice. And yeah, Volk, he's one of the best in the world, man. He's one of the best in the world. That's really all you got to say about that. 4th round TKO, he advances. Sterling versus Yan Du. Now, I did not believe. I know he posted on Twitter the little, I'm not going to fill that out. But I will apologize to Aljamain Sterling, all right? I will apologize to Aljamain Sterling. He did what he had to do to win this fight, and he earned that championship. He earned that bantamweight championship, right? We can talk about what happened in the past. We can talk about all that. But in this fight, he earned it. He earned it. And sure, Peter came through, and he showed up big time. And he showed up and did what he was supposed to do and what we expected Peter Yan to do from the jump. in those 4th and 5th rounds, but that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Not after the way Sterling went those first 3 rounds. That first round, it was very, very tight. I still gave it to Sterling because I think he just did enough. Even though he was pretty much getting hunted, I think he sticked and moved enough to get that round, and I think Khamzat was the way for a lot of people. And then that 2nd and 3rd round, that was the reason. Those were the 2 reasons why he won that fight. When he was able to get Jan, and even though Jan showed some great defense on the ground there, making sure he didn't get submitted, all of that time he had in control, 8 minutes off of 2 takedowns, in back-to-back rounds, that is what got Sterling that championship, and that is what made him undisputed. I do foresee a trilogy in the future. I think they need to go to their own devices for now, separate them. Jan goes and butchers whoever they feed him. Sterling faces TJ, or whoever you want to make him, probably TJ. He called out TJ, so we're going to say it's TJ, because that's Dana's guy. Sterling versus TJ, whatever. Winner, I guess, if Sterling loses that, he gets the rematch. But if Sterling beats TJ, Jan beats whoever he faces, then we go for the trilogy, right? Because even though Jan, technically speaking, lost the first fight because of DQ, let's be real, he was beating the brakes off of Sterling, all right, in that first one. So it's really 1-1, all right? It's 1-1. But Sterling, no excuses this time, all right? Give my boy Funkmaster his respect. I'm giving him his flowers. He showed up. He showed out. He deserves that championship. He earned it. Congratulations to Aljamain Sterling. Khamzat and Gilbert Burns are a bunch of savages. Savages. I knew this was going to be a great fight. I mean, I knew it. And I said that if Khamzat Chimaev managed to beat Gilbert Burns, the hype train would see no ends. And now some people, because Khamzat only won on a UD, and I know some people got up in arms because it was a UD, but I feel like it was a unanimous decision in the sense that people felt there was a clear winner, but not in the fact that it wasn't a close fight. It was still a really, really, really close fight, but more people favor that Khamzat won the fight, if you understand what I'm saying. But my goodness, what a fight. What a fight. I wish it would have been a 5-rounder. It should have been a 5-rounder, honestly. But it was a fight of the year candidate between Khamzat and Gilbert Burns. Like I said, both of them savages. Khamzat he's a menace. We knew he was a menace. That was incredibly reckless, but he showed off a hell of a chin. A hell of a chin. It was incredibly reckless, and shout out to his coach for not being a yes man, for calling him out on it, because he made that fight a lot harder than it had to be. Now, I know Gilbert is also very strong. He was stronger than Khamzat was expecting. That's what Khamzat said. But Khamzat could have took that to the ground and done a little bit more. There were safer ways to win that fight than getting in an all-out war. But as a neutral fan, I loved it. I loved it. It was reckless. It was dangerous. And he cannot do that against Colby or Kamaru, and really shouldn't be doing it against Gilbert in the first place. But it worked out. And, going forward, he needs to be cleaner, and I'm sure he will, hopefully. But it was fun. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. That was one of those fights where neither man really lost any stock. Like, Gilbert Burns is still one of the elite, in my opinion, right? He's still a top 3 welterweight in the business. But I think this just helps establish Khamzat is also, he's got to be in that talks of, if we got a top 4 right now in, welterweight, it's got to be Kamaru, Colby, Gilbert, and Khamzat, right? That's got to, not in that order, obviously, but, that's got to be that's the elite. And he showed he belonged. Showed off a great chin, showed off some striking powers. We saw him get to the ground. We saw how his strength translates. He's a beast. All right, and at only 27 years old, I think he's a future champion. He's got all of the tools. He's got the right mentality. He's got the swagger to go with it. Got the confidence. I like what Khamzat Chimaev brings to the table. A lot of people are going to point out, holes they saw in this fight, and all of this, and say, oh, he didn't, demolish him. The hype train is not as, whatever. Which I don't understand, right? Because you sit here and you point to John Jones and you point to Khabib. Naturally, I guess, because, they're similar, likeness. with all due respect to Bones and Khabib, right, who are two of the best, not even argued, they are two of the best of all time. They're on Mount Rushmore of MMA. They didn't have to fight. In their his fifth fight, they didn't make this type of a jump and go face somebody the caliber of Gilbert Burns, right? I expected a war, and that's what we got. I didn't expect him. If he'd have ran through, if he'd have ran through Gilbert Burns, Lord, give him Kamaru tomorrow. But no. It was a good fight to really assess his level and show, what type of prospect we're looking at. We're looking at a very special fighter. So, yeah, shout out to Khamzat. Shout out to Gilbert for even taking it because, again, it was very risky. And, it didn't necessarily pay off, but it kind of paid off, though, because he gained a lot of fans and nobody really thinks any less of him. And he's still in the mix. Incredible fight. Fight of the year contender. Absolutely. Shout out to Khamzat and Gilly because that was fantastic. Other fights, or I was just highlight one fight really. And I probably can just pop a picture for this one. Mackenzie Dern, split decision versus Tisha Torres. That was a good fight. That was a good scrap as well. Dern did enough, show some striking improvements, but Tisha made that a very, very tough fight. That was a very worthy split decision. Honestly, going to the cards, I wasn't even sure who really won that one, but Mack was able to get it done. So shout out to Miss Dern. She gets to win with Torres and continues her ascent of the rankings. Heading over to boxing, because it's a combat sports, right? It's not just the UFC this week. We had some boxing stuff. Of course, Triple G, at 40 years old, unifies. Yeah, unifies some belts in the middleweight division. Takes out Ryota Murata in the ninth. Still got it. The Canelo trilogy is back on. It's back on. It's a possibility, of course. Canelo is up trying to slay Goliath currently, at least in size, up at 170. But when he returns back to middleweight, it appears he'll have one of his greatest rival, if not his greatest rival, waiting for him in Triple G. So, Triple G, shout out to him. Still got it, baby. 40 years old. Still the big drama show. Still, what more can you say? Absolute legend. One of the best middleweights of all time. Ryan Garcia. King Ryan has returned. The Flash, whatever you want to call him. Showed that he still has the goods, but I had a feeling. I know a lot of people saw Emmanuel to go. I'm like, all right, they're feeding him, a nobody. He's going to knock him out, quick knockout to boost it. But the way that each of these fights for each of the fabulous four lightweights, the 135 that we have, the way that each of those fights that are supposed to be like gimmies have gone, I knew what was up, right? Tanks went a little bit longer than expected, even though he got the result. Haney's went a little bit longer than expected, but he still got the result. I figured Garcia, once again, it was going to go a little bit longer than people expected, and he still got the result. Now, I expected him to finish to go, and I think a more in the, in that groove, in his tempo, Ryan Garcia finishes to go, but nonetheless, it is what it is. He got the UD. I would put him at 4 now, of that 4. And I think he'd have a tough time with people like Loma. But again, just him getting back in rhythm. It was a long layoff. He had a lot going on. And yeah, there's a lot of pressure on him because a lot of people don't like him because of his social media presence, because he knows how to market himself. But y'all can hate. He's making bread. He gets people to tune in, then that's all that matters. As long as he's fighting and he's fighting again, no need. He's probably not going to be happy with that performance. But first fight back, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. Now, with that said, with the remaining time, we're going to sprint over to college basketball, all right? We're going to sprint over, because the national championship happened last Monday, and that feels like it was a week ago, so we might as well get that out of the way early and often, all right? Kansas. The reverse psychology worked. See, that was my problem, right? That's why we lost to Carolina, okay? It's because I got faith in this Duke team instead of just going, you know what? we're going to lose to Carolina. We're going to get butchered. We'd have been in the national championship, and who knows, maybe we'd have won it, right? But I got faith in that team. You know, I went away from that reverse psychology. Because I went on here on Monday, last Monday, on episode 87, and I was demoralized, I was down, and I was like, you know what? Carolina's going to win. Yeah, Carolina's going to win. You know, giving y'all that false hope, that false belief, you know, kind of, you know, giving them that rat poison, as Nick Saban would say. And it worked, all right? It worked. What can I say? It worked. Kansas gets the win 72-69. Bill Self gets his second title. Ochai Agbaji, nah, listen, all right? Ochai's the best player on that team. Don't get me wrong. He's done a lot for that team. Should he have been MOP? I do not know. David McCormick at 15 and 10 has been great all tournament long. I might have gave it to Big Dave, but I digress. Dave had 15 and 10. Bron had 12 and 12. Ochai also had 12, but once again, MOP, it is what it is. He's a great player. What else? Mondo, even though his ankle was falling off, and he's going to have to get that fixed. Boy had 15 and 15. He was the truth. One of the best players. Should be. I think he was All-American. Surely Mgbako was an All-American. If not, he was with the People's All-American. I say as a Duke fan. A lot of respect for Mondo. He developed into that 5-star big man that he was supposed to be. He was one of the best big men in the country. I mean, up there with Oscar, who won National Player of the Year. In terms of productivity, and yeah, he was dominant in the tournament, a hell of a run. Don't know what his, kind of situation will be in the pros, but somebody's definitely going to take a player. He's got talent, he's got the goods. So yeah, shout out to Mondo, 15 and 15, but it wasn't enough. KU gets it done. Rock, Chalk, J, Hawk. Now to head over to the NBA world, and well, we have reached the end of the regular season. The Rockets. We're going to talk about the Rockets, because good Lord, I got to talk about that boy. I got to talk about my boy, and I'm going to talk my, because y'all was talking reckless about my guy. The first 2 months of the season, he's a bust. He's a wash. They should have drafted Mobley. They should have drafted Scottie. They should have drafted Franz Wagner. Even though shout out to Franz, he had a great year, all right? But y'all were talking crazy, all right? Y'all was talking crazy about my boy. Jalen Green caps off what has been a dream season for the Houston Rockets. And especially after the All-Star break, a dream. And especially this last 10 games. Ladies and gentlemen, JG4 has arrived. And it'll be JG4 officially next year. As unfortunately Zero, even though Zero looked nice, we got used to it. It's going to be gone. All right, JG4 is going to be, he's unleashed. All right, he adapted. He adapted to the league. 41 points in the season finale yesterday. With only 4 threes, and he's been a 3-point shooter this year, but only 4 threes for JG, and it's just, he's a beast, all right? He's a beast. I already told y'all what his player comp, when we did the draft, I told y'all what his player comp is, all right? And I'll say it again. I'll say it with my chest. Not saying that he's going to be these people, or that he's going to reach this heights, but his ceiling is, well, his player comp, the players he's in the vein of, is Michael Jeffrey Jordan and Kobe Bean Bryant. The scoring ability and athleticism and just kind of love of the game, it's in that vein. It's that same tree. Now, will he become as great as them? Only time can tell. All right, only Lord knows. That is a massive height to reach. Even though he's got stupid buddies. So a very high bar. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, but that's the beta player he is in. JG4 with 40, I mean, listen, the Rockets are one of the, even though they were an awful team, they were in all, they took L, they had the worst record in the league. But they were absolutely one of the funnest teams to follow this year. It made me kind of a minor, even though I don't really have a true NBA team, found myself rooting for the Rockets and watching a lot of Rockets this year. With JG, with Sengun, with Jacob, just kind of with that young core, because it was fun to watch. Right, they were a very fun team to watch, And one team to watch out for, especially with the draft, because they're Jabari, Chet, Paulo away from. I mean, it's gonna be very, very interesting. But yeah, shout out to the Rockets, even though they're relevant to the playoff race. Embiid wins the scoring title because Bron's ankle fell off. But you know, he's Wolverine. He'll be back by next season, and hopefully the Lakers have a better team. Because good lord, listen. I saw some claims talking about most disappointing team of all time. There ain't no way in that this is the most disappointing team of all time. This is only the most disappointing team of all time if you don't watch basketball. But that's not true because some of y'all claim or do watch basketball and still claim it was, which I still don't understand. I don't know if y'all thought it was like a decade ago when y'all saw that roster and were like, ooh, this is a super team. Because actually some of y'all did do that. You know, I had to debunk that earlier this year before the start of the season. Now, should this team have made the playoffs? Sure. Should they have been as bad as they were? Sure. They shouldn't have been that bad. But to be surprised that they're not like a contender or, you know, really relevant, I'm not surprised. If you look up the makeup of this team, you should not be surprised. A bunch of old heads plus Braun and Austin Reeves and 80, maybe 20% of the time ain't a real special team. Respectfully. And Braun, I love Braun. Love him to death. But that's not a special team. It's not. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to win a championship. It's not going to win a lot of games. But I digress. Most disappointing team of all time. Absolutely not. Not even close. Not even close. Not even in the conversation for most disappointing team of all time. Y'all just should have saw them for what they were. And that's on you. That's not on everybody else. You should have looked at that team and know what it was. I did. Go back. I told you. If you didn't watch the A15 exchange, you would have known and you wouldn't have been disappointed. You would have been, you may have been a little disappointed, but you wouldn't have been most disappointed team of all time because they're, stop it. They were never contenders. They were never, ever. Who do they have? Who did they? It's not even worth the discussion. It's not even worth the further time. We got the playoff picture. We got the play-in tournament now. In the West, we got New Orleans, the New Orleans Pelicans with Zion clear for 5-on-5, but don't worry, San Antonio. He's not going to be back, and not that it matters because I don't know if y'all winning that game anyway. But yeah, we got in the 19 game New Orleans and San Antonio. In the 7-8 game, we got Minnesota and LA. That should be very interesting. Did Kawhi retire? Did Kawhi retire? It feels like Kawhi's been gone longer than Clay was. I'm going to be honest. And we just haven't heard any update. Like I said, it's like we always say. When Kawhi goes, we're just never going to hear from him again. And it's been like that. Honestly, it's been like that. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the West. Phoenix got the 1 seed. We got Dallas versus Utah, who I feel like have matched up quite a bit. We got D. Mitchell versus Luka. That should be very interesting. The Warriors are in a very dangerous situation because they get Jokic in Denver in the first round, and that should be an interesting game. And of course, the number 2 seed, shout out to Memphis. We'll get to see what Ja does on the big stage. In the East, all right, days in the East, the 9-10 game is the Hawks and the Hornets. 7-04 almost. We almost got a playing game. I would have definitely shut out some money for that. But yeah. Hawks, Hornets, in the ATL should be an interesting one. 2 of the most young, exciting point guards in the league with Trey and Melo. So, yeah, that's going to be showtime for sure. The Nets in Cleveland, another one that's going to be very interesting. Even though I don't see Cleveland being able to deal with KD. But, I mean, they got length. Don't really have Toronto length. And that's a great deal. That's great for Brooklyn, by the way, that they were able to avoid Toronto, and Toronto linked up to that 5 seed. I think they'll take that any day of the week. But with that said, should be interesting nonetheless. That young Cavs team, very hungry, but that Nets team, one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win the championship. So we'll see. He got the first seed in the East. The Celtics got the number 2 seed. We'll see if the Celtics can get over the hump. We'll see if the Heat with 6th man of the year, Tyler Hero. We'll see if Lowry made the difference with that team, if they can make another championship run. That's crazy. Lakers, y'all won the championship against that Heat team, and the Heat team did the smart thing and didn't go, let's blow this team up. They said, yeah, let's keep them together and let's add on to it and make it better. Let's not blow it up even though we didn't have success last year. Let's keep building on this team because we can make it back. And look at them, number 1 seed. While y'all had a championship team, got injured last year and lost to the number 1 seed back-to-back years, by the way, in Phoenix, who went to the championship last year, lost to that team and said it's time to blow it up. It's terrible. Just terrible, bro. The Sixers and the Raptors, all right? Matisse Thybulle, he's a great guy, but he's going to cost the Sixers team. He's going to cost that Sixers team's on upset alert, all right? They're on upset alert versus Toronto. Embiid's probably going to go off, but they're on upset alert nonetheless. The Bulls, after such a great season, it's such a tough situation. You get the defending champs in Milwaukee, and that's going to be a tough. It's tough. All right, it's tough. Bulls, very good season, but you ran into arguably the hottest team in the league. So yeah, good luck with Giannis and all that. But nonetheless, it was a great NBA regular season. That playoff. Listen, I have no idea who's winning MVP. Could be Jokic back to back. It could be Embiid. It could be Giannis. It could be Luka. I don't know. That's a lot of foreign players, by the way. I think that's 4 foreign players, by the way, actually, technically. Luka's foreign, Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid. That's 4 foreign players. That's very, very cool. Shows how the game's going international. But I think it's going to be a good playoffs. We got a lot of parity. Could see some upsets. We could just see some really, really good games. Some good duels. Almost reminiscent of the bubble in some of the duels we had in the bubble playoffs. So, yeah, should be a good playoffs. Lakers, I got nothing else to say about y'all. Rookies, listen, shout out to Cade, even though I shout out JG and the Rockets rookies. But shout out to Cade, shout out to Evan Mobley, shout out to Scottie. Franz already said, Kuminga, Herb Jones. The rookie class lived up to the hype, all right? They lived up to the hype this year. Just shout out to all the rookies. They were fantastic. It's been a pleasure watching y'all, and I cannot wait to see what y'all do in year 2. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's head over to entertainment, all right? It's the midway point here. And music. We had plenty of people drop. We had Lil Baby drop 2 songs. I have not listened to them. Fabio dropped Bible. I have not listened to it. Vince Staples dropped Ramona Park Broke My Heart. I have not listened to it. So I have failed to do my job this week and listen to any type of music. But I did hear Bible was very good. I did hear RPBMH were both very good. So I'm going to try to get to those sometime this week. But of course I was busy, man. I was busy. If you saw my Instagram story, I was, I had to get a little, had to look like a draft pick, yesterday. And before that, I was working on the paper. All right, so listen, it's been a busy couple weeks. All right, so have mercy. But you guys can let me know. Feel free to let me know what you thought of the music scene this week, because there was plenty of people that dropped. However, I did get to watch some TV. Moon Knight. Even though some people didn't really like it as much as episode 1, I still thought it was a very good episode. Listen, I wanted to see more Mark. I've been in near to Steven. I've seen Steven. I want to see the other person. I want to see Jake. If Jake is there, I want to see that. We got to see Mr. Moon, right? We got to see the suit. Steven's interpretation of the suit of, it's Mr. Moon Knight. Is that what the suit? I'm blanking right now on if that's what it's called. Anyways, the suit. Not the, cool suit. Well, I mean, the suit is cool. But also the suit that's just like a business suit that he wears, that's Steven's kind of suit. That's a lot of suits. All right, anyways, you know what I mean. I think it's Mr. Moon Knight. But anyways, Mr. Moon, or Mr. Knight costume. That was cool. Superhero landing to bring that out. Got to see more of Layla. I'm very interested to see how that kind of develops. It was interesting to see how it seems like Mark created Steven kind of in the vein of being the man that he wanted to be for Layla, but couldn't be. So I thought that was very interesting to see how that kind of personality kind of branched into this, other personality of his. But yeah, it's interesting to see Mark now as the man out and who he's running around with Steven now, kind of a reversal of roles. So that should be very interesting. And seeing how we go on and deal with it, especially since the scarf is now, in the hands of Hero now. So that should be very interesting. Komash said we gotta find him. So it's gonna be interesting what episode 3 looks like. Halfway point of the show is going by so fast. It's only 6 episodes, but good 2 episodes. It's been a good start. Winning time episode. What is this, 5? I think a winning time. Dealing with Jack McKinney's accidents and kind of Pete becoming head coach and dealing with that and everything going on there. Also got to see Magic and him with Nike. He turned down Phil Knight to go with Converse, and him just kind of dealing with being, the star black athlete in the kind of white man's world and that kind of going in. But also them just dealing with fame. All right, that was another thing. Does she love him? He clearly loves Cookie, but his agent's daughter that he's messing around with, they're kind of going back and forth. So yeah, just kind of seeing the turmoil with Magic, seeing the turmoil with the team, and yes, another great episode. Seeing the turmoil with Dr. Bus, just trying to keep everything in check. But yeah, it's been a good show, man. It's been a good show. Winning time, highly recommended if you're not watching already. HBO Max, they're not paying me to say that, but still a very, very good show. MLB was the opening weekend, yes. It was opening weekend in the MLB. Baseball is back. Baseball is back indeed. Trout is back, he homered. Bryce Harper went crazy during spring training. I don't know if Bryce is homered yet. He might have. Shohei Ohtani's back, doing Shohei Ohtani things. Who else? Byron Buxton looking like the guy he was supposed to be. The near generational prospect he was supposed to be through this first weekend of games. Hunter Green with an impressive debut for the Reds. So yeah, shout out to Hunter. What else happened? in the MLB? But yeah, it's opening weekend. Baseball's back, so look forward to more MLB segments going forward. It'll probably be one of the dominating segments as we get into summer, as it is the sport of the summer. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, baseball's back. Even though I'm pretty sure my Yankees lost the series to the Red Sox. So not the great start in, of course, the Aaron Judge contract situation. But you know what? It is what it is. All the rookies are here. By the way, Julio Rodriguez, Bobby Witt Jr., already mentioned Hunter, Spencer Torkelson. That's like the top 3 prospects in Torque, Witt, and Julio, I think, that are all up. I'm sure Adley, who I think is the number 2 guy, he'll be up shortly when he heals. But yeah, should be a good rookie race. Should be a good season. Baseball's back, baby. Champions League. Cue the Champions League music, alright? I can't play because it's DMCA. But Champions League is back, baby. Not that it really ever left. But, first leg of the quarters. Second leg coming this week. But first leg, Man City versus Atletico. I watched this one personally, as it was really my highlight game of Tuesday. But yes, Atletico, Man City. Atletico's in trouble. Y'all are in a world of trouble. That Man City team looked very complete. All right, very complete. Phil Foden returned back to form. We've been talking about Kylian Mbappe. By the way, listen. If only y'all could have started this early. If y'all could have been healthier early. Because they've been scorching Liga 1. Now, y'all can call them farmers or whatever you want. But they're still scorching them. Mbappe, the best player in the world, by the way. Best player in the world. Hat-trick. Neymar, hat-trick. Messi, hat-trick of assists, right? But we're not talking about Paris Saint-Germain right now. We're talking about their oil-filled cousins, Manchester City, right? Phil Foden, that's what I want to talk about. We've been talking about Pedri, we've been talking about Mbappe. Phil Foden said, hey, don't forget about me. Now, I wouldn't put Foden on that level, but Foden is still a very good prospect and he's going to be one of the better players, I would say, in the world in this upcoming generation. That's taking over, all right? They're taking over. De Ligt, also be great for Juventus. They're taking over. Slowly but surely, they're taking over. Came in, made an instant impact, got that ball into KDB, and KDB did what KDB does, one of the best midfielders on the planet, the Belgian. And yeah, that was the decider. That was the decider of this game. Man City looked like the better team, clearly. Atletico, Cholo, they're gonna need to make, the changes. They're gonna need to be a lot more aggressive against Man City in the second leg. For Man City, Pep knows what to do. I trust Pep. No mercy. Do not let up off the gas. Do not, shut it down. No mercy. Finish this. Don't be like PSG. Finish the show. Because Atletico can absolutely strike. All right? They got the talent to do it. They got the manager to do it. They got the culture to do it. So Man City just can't let up. Liverpool takes down Benfica. Konate, who's been a great pickup for them. Sadio Mane, Diaz all score. Darwin Núñez tried to strike back, but Liverpool got it done. Looking like that English side at Anfield is going to advance here versus Benfica. Very comfortable win, like I said, similar to Man City. Just can't let off the gas, and I feel pretty comfortable saying Klopp. It seems like Liverpool, Man City might be the class of the Champions League. At least right now, the two England sides. But Liverpool gets it done. Villarreal stuns Bayern Munich. I can't remember the last time Bayern lost in a away tie in the Champions League. It just doesn't happen. And I did not expect it to happen against Villarreal, but it did. Danjuma got the goal, and yeah, Bayern just had a nightmare. Right? It was one of the worst games I've seen Bayern play in years. And Villarreal took advantage of the opportunities and got on the scoreboard. It makes for a very intriguing second leg. Now I expect Bayern to come out and do what they do, and of course take control of this tie and win. But it's one to watch out for. Villarreal has a lot to play for. It would be a massive, massive upset here in the Champions League if they were able to stun and take out Bayern Munich. So yeah, one to watch out for, absolutely. Real Madrid and Chelsea. It couldn't go much worse for Chelsea, even though they got back on track in the weekend. But it couldn't have gone much worse in that 7-day period in which they got thrashed by Brentford and then gave up an easy hat-trick to Benzema, who has been one of the best players. I mean, he's in Ballon d'Or contention for sure. I mean, he has stepped up and proven why he deserves a statue outside the Bernabeu. King Karim gets a hat-trick in this game. They win 3-1. Havertz got one back, but Mendy, it was a disaster class. Tuchel's Chelsea has not fallen apart very much, if at all, but this was one of the times where they did. And it wasn't a great time to have it happen. Mendy had the worst game I've seen him play. That Chelsea defense finally showed cracks that they hadn't showed in a while. And Benzema and Vinicius and the rest of that Real Madrid team were able to take advantage. And Benz gets the hat. He's been phenomenal, like I said. Havertz has also been very good. He got the goal here. It's going to be tough. For the reigning champs, it's going to be very tough. If they want to get back, they've got a challenge. Luckily, for better or worse, no away goal rule. So you know what the mission is. You got to score at least 3. Score 2 to get it into extras at least. By in 90 minutes, you need 2, but you need 3. And you can't let any in. So, good luck to Chelsea. Good luck to the Blues. But it's looking like Hala Madrid here to advance to the semifinals. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, here in episode 88, we have reached the Roundup. And we got a plentiful Roundup for you. Scottie Scheffler ascended to the #1 ranking also under 25. Another great young talent in golf. You love to see it. But ascended off of a very, very hot streak heading into the Masters. And it continued. He dominated Augusta all 4 days to go, I believe, wire to wire and win his first career majors title. Scottie Scheffler wins the Masters, 10 under for the week. He was great. Scottie was magical. Now Rory gave him a run at the end with that incredible final round, and including that chip that will be in every Masters highlight tape to the end of time. But Scottie was playing no games, defended that #1 ranking, showed why he was ranked #1. We'll see if he's got staying power, but that was a hell of a run he's on right now. He wins the Masters. Charles Leclerc is the man on fire. Similar to Scottie Scheffler, Leclerc cannot do any wrong. He wins Australia over Max. Charles is looking like the time is now. We were wondering when the baton would be passed from Lewis on to Max and Charles, and it's looking like it's this year because Charles, back to back, looking very, very, very dangerous. He's making a statement early on. We'll see if he can keep it going in that Ferrari, but yeah, Charles Leclerc has been on fire. Denver, let's talk about hockey, yeah? Let's talk about hockey. We're going to go to college. We don't talk about it very, very often, but we did have the Frozen Four this weekend in Denver. For the 9th time, I think this century, is your national champions. It was a close fight going into that third period against Minnesota State, but Denver, who have been the class of college hockey all year, were able to get it done. They pulled away, get the win 5-1, 4 unanswered. Well-deserved win. Denver hockey, up good, up great, up great. National championship, and like I said, they've been one of the dominant teams in college hockey in recent years in modern times. So yeah, shout out to Denver. Know they got some guys headed to the NHL, and we'll see if they can keep that momentum going. I know they took out Michigan, and Michigan had like 80,000 first-rounders, so yeah, well-deserved win for Denver. Austin Matthews, the great American Maple Leaf. 58 goals, their shot is his, and really the heart as well might be his. I really can't. I mean, I know McDavid's leading and probably going to win the Art Ross, and he's McDavid, but Matthews has been so good. 50 in 50 games. Unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. 58 goals for the season for Austin. It might be more than that now because it seems like he's scoring every time I check. But the great American Maple Leaf gets it done. One of the superstars of the league. Shout out to Austin for getting it done. And to end off, well, what started off as a bad week last week for Duke ended off as a great week because at the Nike Hoop Summit, one of the top players in the class of 2023, the number 1 small forward, Mgbako, Mgbako. Sorry about that, Mack Mgbako. Committed to Duke, committed to the brotherhood. Listen, Sean Shire, say what we want. Say what you want about it. But we got the number 1 recruiting class, it looks like again. Now, if we can win a national championship or at least get back to the Final Four with all of this talent, that would be nice. That would be nice to prevent the slander. But my goodness, we have been destroying the recruiting trail. We're on 2024. We're pretty much done. We're done with 2022, right? We're heading into, they're about to come in. Derek White has been fantastic. Lively's been showing up. Flippers in the Nike Hoop Summit. One inspired his performance, but we got a lot of faith in the boy. Mark Mitchell as well. Jaden Schutt, Christian Reeves. But 2023 is done as well. Jaden McCann, Jared, Caleb, Mack. We're done. Sean, we're done. We're done. We're on 2024 now. It's been great. It's been great. Besides the embarrassment 2 weeks ago that we won't speak about any further, it's been good. It's been good recruiting. Now hopefully we can make it translate to a national title. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed. Episode 88 is now in the books. Like I said, a little bit longer one, but we had to have one of those in a while. Nice to have one of those every now and then. But as always, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a great week. I know Easter's coming up, so yeah, I got that to look forward to. Pretty sure I got a 4-day weekend, but still plenty to do in school. Of course, I'll see you throughout the week for Ocho Reacts. But for the 15 exchange, ladies and gentlemen, Ocho signing off.